Hi everyone, my name's Rebecca. Welcome back to My Bookish Travels. Today I thought that it would be a great time to sit down and recommend some short manga series for you to read. And when I mean short, I literally mean it's either a one-shot, it's a duology, it's a trilogy, but max it's only got 4 books. So these are perfect if you're feeling behind and you need to kind of catch up on your reading goal, or you've maybe just been reading a little bit darker reads or longer reads and you need something short, quick, and it's just going to be light and fluffy. And I can tell you guys that summer is the best time to read manga. I don't know if it's just because the weather's a little bit warmer or you're kind of feeling in that summery mood where you want something light and fluffy. But anytime I'm going into the summer, my system always says you need to read manga. So I hope you guys enjoy these recommendations. And if you've read any of them, did you like them? If you haven't read them or heard of them, well, make sure you come back and tell me what you thought of them. So the first one that I want to show you guys is actually a 4-book manga series. It is called 1 Pound Gospel, and it is about our main male character who is trying to become a boxer, and he ends up falling in love with a nun. And that is the whole premise of the story. Also, for those that like kind of watching stuff that's based on manga, there is an early 2000s live action Japanese drama, 1 Pound Gospel, which did a really good job bringing this to life, and I really enjoy both of these. The next one, again, is a 4-book series, and it is The Earl and the Fairy. This one is really cool because we have our main female character who has the ability to speak to fairies. She is a fairy doctor, and she ends up being coerced almost by our main male lead to assist him to find a magical item, and he doesn't seem to be all that he says he is. I will tell you guys that there is an anime for this. I haven't watched it yet, but it is on my list to watch soon. But I really enjoy this. I have read this series through fully twice now. I really recommend, if you guys like more of a fantasy romance, check this one out. So the next one that I want to mention is another 4-book one, and it is Instant Teen Just Add Nuts. Before I actually go into discussing these, I just want to mention how well these books were produced. They are done as if they are the box of a product with like your nutrition facts on the back is how the description is given. Our story follows our main character, who is a middle school student who ends up being given these magical nuts. I believe they're pink nuts. I don't know if she gets given them or if she finds them. I feel like she was given them. And these nuts allow her to actually age and become this youthful teenager, and she kind of gets to live life that way. This is a really like fun rom-com fantasy, and if you guys are looking for something throwback for manga, definitely check this one out. I also don't know if there is any anime based off of this. I don't think it's been produced, but I could be mistaken and just not come across it yet. All right, so this is a trilogy, and I'm just going to start by, if you are ready to just have your heart ripped out, broken into a million pieces, and then slowly stitched back together and put back in place, this is the trilogy for you. It is called Your Name. I have not watched the anime for this because I don't think I'm mentally prepared. But this is the most beautiful story. My friend and I read this. So she's in the Netherlands, and we read this on video chat at the same time. So amazingly beautiful. And I'm really, really angry about the North American remake live action that they are discussing doing, because they're talking about having it take place in North America, and I just don't understand why we can't have this taking place in Japan. That's where this story is set. It is beautiful. It is set in the best place possible for this story, and I just don't understand why we have to North Americanize it. It should take place, if you're going to produce it and you're going to make it quality, make it happen in Japan. So I don't know if I will ever watch the live action if it ever does get continued to be produced and made, because I really feel like it's doing a disservice taking it out of being in Japan. It just, there's something about how this is written where to change even one thing is just not going to cut it for me. But this one breaks your heart, puts it all back together again, and it is so amazingly beautiful, and I just have nothing but praise. All right, so this one is a duology, and it is called Flowers in a Storm. This one is so cute. So our main character is in high school, and I believe she ends up saving this guy who gets shot, and she finds out that he is the head of a yakuza, and it is so good. I really love this duology and I wish more people read it because it's so good. I don't think it has any anime created from it, but I'm surprised because it would be a great one season show. I think it would be really, really fun. And I feel like a lot of the dark romance girlies could probably like this because it's more of like a slower transition into a dark romance because it doesn't go dark, like super, super dark, but it is really, really, really beautiful. So the next one is another duology and it is called SP Baby. And it is where our main character ends up missing a very important interview because she stops an assault happening on a man. And it turns out he's the Prime Minister's nephew and he asks her to become his bodyguard. And this is just such a fluff book. I love it. It makes me so happy when I read it. And I feel like if you haven't heard about this duology, so quick to get through. And it's only 2 books, guys, so not a huge commitment. This next duology is one that I absolutely love, and if you guys didn't know, Disney has somewhat delved into the manga genre, and this was one of the earlier mangas that they produced, and it is Big Hero 6. I loved this manga duology, and I wish that they had more that was coming out, but if you guys love Big Hero 6 and you love reading, if you haven't read them, then you need to read them. Just saying, I'm not peer pressuring you into reading them, but like, why have you not read them? Because you should. All right, so this one, what's interesting is I could only find it in these omnibus versions, but this one is so good. It is called I'm Here. Have you heard of this? If you have not, let me introduce you to it. Book? Book. This is such a beautiful story. It follows our main character who just doesn't feel like she fits in with her school and her class, and she has a blog and she talks about this sunflower that she's trying to help grow and bloom, and it's also a representation of her in her life as well. And some people come along and they really encourage her to blossom and grow, and it is a middle school story and it is the most beautiful story ever. And for anybody who has ever felt like they just don't belong, they feel like they're an introvert or they are an introvert, and you just struggle with, you know, things going on in your life, you need to check out this series. This is so beautiful. Out of everything that I've mentioned, if you are like, I only want to read one thing, like what's the one book that you would say that one? This. I think that you should read this. This one right here. You will not regret it. Right, so the next one that I am going to mention to you guys is Wanted. So I'm pretty positive this might have been the first actual manga that I bought for my shelf. I didn't just borrow it from the library. If you guys like The Princess Bride and you're like, I wish I could get this story but in a different format, you're welcome. This is a one-shot, so you don't have much to read beyond the one book. Highly recommend. Check this out. If you like pirates, if you like The Princess Bride, check this out. You will not regret it. Well, you may. I don't know what your reading habits are like, but like, I did not regret this. All right, and the final one, although it is considered a one-shot, you'll understand in a minute why I'm like, it's maybe not. It's called Will Supervillains Be on the Final? Liberty Vocational Volume 1. There hasn't been anything else produced for this series, which sucks because it's such a good book. It takes place in a college, and it is, well, maybe it's not college, maybe it's high school. But anyway, it takes place at Liberty Vocational, and it's heroes, supervillains, it's sidekicks. This is like sky high for like the anime lover. And I'm so upset there hasn't been more to this because it's so darn good. And I just wish there was more. But I will accept that there's only this one so far. But really and truly, if somebody was to see this and had connections and could be like, why isn't there more? Why isn't there more? I want more. This is so good. I highly recommend check it out. All right, that's it. Those are all the books I wanted to mention to you guys because I didn't want to have this video be too long, but I also wanted to recommend going into the summer some really great reads that might be up your alley. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have some recommendations for me, feel free to do so in the comment section down below. I may be on a book buying ban this year, but that doesn't mean that I won't be on other years. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Stay safe, stay well, and I will see you then. Bye!